And we're back for part two of our continuing September 2015 coverage. This is False Flag Nation. This is Prometheus joining me once again, Mr. William Revere.
I'm here, still alive, and what? It's 9:20 p.m. on September 23rd. Let's see, September 23rd, 2015.
It is.
And nothing has happened yet.
Yeah, I just really started studying up on this over the last couple of days, and I spent all day at work today constantly checking the news. I was just like, oh, okay, is there an earthquake somewhere? Did a nuke go off?
Right.
Is Jesus coming down from the sky? I don't know what's going on. I was checking the news every break I had, whenever I had a few minutes. Nothing happened so far. So far, we're all still alive. But again, we got 2.5 more hours. Anything could happen here. Speaking
Right.
of
And
which,
who knows? Maybe we'll be recording while this happens, and we'll be taken out of transmission from a comet or something like that.
yeah, or Mr. Revere might disappear due to the rapture, and I'll just be talking to myself here. But one story that got arguably the most attention out of this whole thing so far was is a rather odd coincidence with with CERN. That's the organization, CERN, and they
Right.
run the Large Hadron Collider, which is that massive particle accelerator in.
It's
I think
Switzerland,
yeah,
right?
it's near Geneva in Switzerland, and it's like several. I think it's a couple miles in diameter, but that's the place where they discovered like the Higgs boson, the so-called God particle. And they're doing all this shit that like just blatantly defies the laws of physics, and they're really pushing the envelope in terms of what people knew about quantum physics and whatnot. And there were all these stories about how people thought they was gonna like tear a hole in the universe or create a black hole or blow up the world a few years ago. It hasn't happened yet, but there have been a lot of speculation that they were going to do something today or the next couple days that could open.
Open what? Open a portal to hell? That's basically what these people are saying.
Yeah, it seems like they basically just took the storyline from Doom. Remember that computer game, and made that their
It sounds perfectly
the plot.
plausible.
Like you go on beforeitsnews.com. This is like the top trending story right now. But like, is it? Help us make sense of this, Will. What are we looking at here? What's going on with?
I, this is really out there, and you know what? Perfectly believable, if you ask me. You've got a bunch of Illuminati scientists funded by the ultra Jewish elite, funded by the world's puppet masters, and
The Rothschilds, the
right, the
Rockefellers, the
Rothschilds,
Council of 300,
right,
13
Rockefellers,
families. Yeah.
yes, the Trilateral Commission.
Hmm.
This is basically what happens when you have all the money in the world is you become bored. And when you become bored, you want power. And when you have power, you can never have enough power. So the world elite has had control over this world. So perhaps what they're trying to do is maybe get access to different worlds or call upon some other type of extraterrestrial or demonic force that are in some parallel universe and use their power as well. This could also be a fulfillment of prophecy. There's a bunch of different things that could happen, but the grand scheme of thing is that this is a bunch of the world's elite pouring money into this project in Switzerland to create some sort of wormhole, black hole portal into another universe to bring something here. That's basically the theory. And
Yeah,
why they want that to happen, I don't know. What the end game of this is, we don't know. But there's something sinister here, and you have the Stephen Quayle folks that are saying that there's legions of demons on the way here, and there's little prancing leprechauns and demons that are going to come out of this mysterious hole and
Yeah, they're
take over the world. Yeah.
yeah. I recall an interview I listened to from the beginning of the year. I think it was January of this year, and I think he was promoting his book, like Little Creatures or something like that. And he mentioned the Hadron Collider specifically with the experiments conducted there. Apparently correlate with an increased sighting of these of Bigfoots as well as the aforementioned little creatures. Like he was bolstering his argument with accounts of leprechaun sightings in the British Isles.
Uh, can you prove otherwise, Chip?
I'm at a disadvantage because I cannot. So logically, we
Exactly.
must conclude that the little folk are running free,
Exactly.
along with their sprite and brownie brethren. But
It all
I
sounds perfectly plausible.
Yeah, perfectly sound. It's a flawless argument. But as far as this whole like CERN thing goes, there is a lot of weird shit going on with this when you start digging further. Like that, though, it seems like the way this whole thing was brought to people's attention in the first place was if you typed in September 23rd, 2015 into Google. Now, I think there's a lot of stories that are not really related. That all are like we were talking about before, the more religious ones.
Right.
And it seems like I guess people were researching that, or people might have been trying to see when Yom Kippur was, or something like that. But if you type in that date into Google and then you click the Maps tab at the top of the page,
Right.
it takes you to the CERN facility in Switzerland.
Interesting.
So I think that's where everyone made that connection, and everyone's like, "Oh fuck, something's gonna happen on that day at this place." So
And you know what it is too. That there's been, you know, after September 11th, especially the years afterwards, you have a lot of people looking back in media, magazines, cartoons. The Simpsons is one of the big ones,
yeah,
and you
yeah,
see
I
that
saw that. I saw that, like
you
Bart
see the
Simpson
nine,
holding
yeah,
the
you see the nine
comic.
eleven popping up all over the place, and
Yeah,
people were saying that these are warnings and stuff like that. And you know
yeah,
what? This is what the Illuminati does. They have control over the media. They have control over the press,
yeah.
and
It's
they
like
can play games with people. So they do this kind of shit.
yeah,
So
they
it
do.
people are very in tune to that, and they were looking for something.
Yeah, it's like Vigilant Citizen. They put all this symbolism out in plain view for anyone with the eyes to see. But
Exactly.
the the CERN facility, there's a lot of interesting things you learn about it when you start digging a little deeper. Like the on that facility, there's a giant statue of Shiva, the Hindu god of destruction. Like the quote from Dr. Oppenheimer when
Yes.
they successfully detonated the first atom bomb. He was apparently into Hindu scripture, and he quoted a passage from the Bhagavad Gita. Might not be saying that right, but it was a quote from Shiva. Said like, "I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." So people made that connection. That's just like, on top of all the speculation that the Hadron Collider would blow up the world, there's this statue of a god that whose
Of destruction, right?
yeah whose purpose in Hindu cosmology is to destroy the world at the end of a world age or something, so that the other god, I think Vishnu or Brahman, I can't remember, can create a new world after it. And another thing that I learned was this town that the Large Hadron Collider is located in. If you look into its history, like 2,000 years ago, that was like a little Roman village there, and there was a temple on this site. Allegedly, once again, this is Stephen Quayle information, so guys, do your research here. But there was a temple to a Roman god called Apollyon, who was later became sort of amalgamified into a demon who was like the prince of the bottomless pit or something like that in demonology, I guess the field is called.
Right.
But it's sort of like that name Lucifer was the god of the Roman god of the morning star of the
Yes.
planet Venus, and then that became associated with the devil when Christianity became the official religion of the empire. So I think something like that similar happened with this. But regardless of what the etymology of the names and all that, it's interesting that that's located in this town.
Right.
And he made the connection that the portal to hell will be opened with the experiments they're conducting here, and then Apollyon's legions will come pouring out like a faucet turned on. And he said there's been increased sightings of giants and whatnot in the countryside surrounding there. So like it's kind of like when you're turning on. Do you remember like an old TV with the rabbit ears? And,
Yes.
you're manually like tuning the antenna, like shifting it one way, this way and that, and the picture becomes clearer or fuzzier depending on how it's positioned. It's
Right.
sort of he says it's sort of like that. Like these creatures are becoming in and out of phase with our reality depending on what's going on. And
Gotcha.
so like they turn it on, it goes like like there's a rift in the fabric of reality, and they come trying to claw their way out, and they turn it off. And he's claiming, of course, to have talked to an eyewitness here,
Right. As he always does. Right.
yeah. I don't know how he finds these people, or you know, no one else seems to meet them. They
Right.
don't
They
seem
don't
to.
go to the other news medias
They
and
don't go to, I don't know, the government or the
the
military
BBC.
or something like that.
Right.
They go to him, a guy living in Wyoming who does a podcast. But you know what?
And what did he say?
He said that they've had to stop he's in charge of security or something. This source, and they had to stop, like use force to stop the experiments, because he says these insane scientists, their goal is to open a doorway, and they may send something through, or something else might come through to them. But they don't know what's going to happen yet. But it's their intent to find out and to open a doorway between two other dimensions.
Now, this could coincide with uh, the the theories of Luciferian takeover of the world. So, this could be a New World Order Luciferian plot to bring about and to summon Satan and have him physically on Earth once again. Do you think that is the angle that he's getting at?
It could be. I mean, if they're opening a portal to hell, I mean, all bets are off at that point. Why wouldn't he?
It's
Uh,
very interesting. It's very
yeah,
interesting.
again, this is kind of like the storyline of the movie Event Horizon. Did you ever see that? Has the guy from the first Jurassic Park
Really?
in it? Yeah, like the main character, not Jeff Goldblum, the other guy, the older guy, and he's like the
Okay.
villain in this movie. He's like an insane scientist on a spaceship called the Event Horizon. They're experimenting with wormholes, and they open a portal to hell, and the whole spaceship, the whole crew gets killed by like demons, except for him, and like some people are sent on a rescue mission. There, you get the idea. It's kind of like Alien,
Gotcha.
except demons. But
So
yeah,
something similar could happen.
yeah. So like we have that going on, and then in that video, like the 27 things supposed to go on, there's a prediction from Nostradamus
Yes.
that the maker of that video linked to it, and I'm gonna get it up on the screen here. But do you place much credence in Nostradamus in general, with your
Uh,
background and like religion and everything?
Not really, no, because it seems like more and more of his discoveries are after the fact, and it's kind of like straw man arguments and essentially just piecing together his ramblings and making them fit events that have happened. However, there's a lot of evidence and there's a lot of scary similarities to what he says, especially about September 11th and obviously the First and Second World War. So who knows? Was he able to see the future? I don't know. But what
Yeah,
is it saying about September 23rd? What's it saying?
I have the quatrain up on the screen here now, and this is what they're saying applies to the Hadron Collider at CERN. It goes, says, "Leave, leave Geneva, every last one of you. Saturn from gold to iron will be changed. The opposing Raypoz, spelled Raypoz, will exterminate all. Before it has started, the sky will show signs."
Wow.
Okay, so Geneva, obviously that's Switzerland. That's right
That's
where, that's pretty close to where the CERN facility is located.
right. That's a location, general geographic location. All right, we got
Yep.
that 1 point down.
So there's that word, Raypoz. Now that's kind of, people are suggesting that that's kind of like an amalgamation of positive ray or positronic radiation or something like that. It's like some moon that he didn't, or some word, excuse me, that he didn't really know what it was, but he just had kind of a feel for what it was, so he wrote it that way.
Gotcha.
Uh, like some of his other quatrains have words like that. Like there's one with the name Mabus in it, and people thought that was an amalgam of Bush and Osama. That was like the ones pertaining to 9/11, because there was a big Nostradamus boom following 9/11. The sky will show signs. One thing that's kind of a big deal is that there's going to be a blood moon in a couple days. Now that's where the moon is red, like deep red. And that happened earlier this year, like around June or May. But if you follow the Jewish calendar, it's happened. This will be the fourth one in 1 year, in one Jewish year, and that hasn't happened since I believe the 1967 war, the 6 Day War. Is that the one in Israel? So
Yes.
It's called the Blood Moon Tetrach, and the last of the four ones happens in a couple days on the 27th. So that's this Sunday.
Right, which interestingly enough is the day that the Pope is going to have a mass at Madison Square Garden.
Is that the day? I thought that was Friday. That
No, he's supposed to have mass, Sunday mass on I believe it's the 27th. Yeah. So
I'm getting his schedule up on the screen, but yeah, either way, even if it's not the exact same day, that's a hell of a coincidence. Once again, it's just this convergence of all these different things. So like even if you're skeptical of this conspiracy stuff, you have to be all like, dude, what is going on? Just something's up. Something, whether it's strictly political, whether there's supernatural, cosmological shit going on, something's happening right now.
right, you can't just think it's a combination of strange events that happen to be occurring in the same month.
Yeah.
It's just not plausible. Something is up. Like you said, the puppet masters are doing something.
And going back to Nostradamus for a second, we have line 2. I'm reading this off beforeitsnews.com, but sorry about that.
Let's see.
We have a pop-up ad going on here. Yeah, that was...
what kind of pop-up ad?
Nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
This has never happened before. But so I had the Pope schedule up on usatoday.com, and that's what I get for trusting the mainstream media.
Oh, you got to pop up
The
from that.
lamestream drive-bys sending their corporate Zionist propaganda at me
Well,
here.
they're listening to this transmission anyway,
Oh
so
yeah, I'm sure they'll be shutting this down as soon as
all
it's
right.
posted. But the second line of that quatrain uh, specifically pertains to something that happened in New York a couple days ago.
And what would that be?
It has to do once again.
What are people saying? How are people interpreting this?
Well, it once again relates to the Hindu symbolism. We have the statue of Shiva at CERN, at the CERN facility, but it's that
Does this have to do with the image on the Empire State Building?
indeed, indeed.
Wow.
Hold on one second. Line two suggests that the end of a golden age of peace, much like the Kali Yuga's descent into the lowest age of iron. Remember, Saturn from gold to iron will be changed. Some interpret this to mean that the Antichrist will arrive and demons will be set loose. Again, the portal line may also be hinting at nuclear reactions necessary to change one element to another. So, the
Those are
Kali Yuga, that phrase right there. A couple days ago in New York City, the on the Empire State Building, there was an image of the goddess Kali or Kali projected onto the Empire State Building in full color at night, and it's a pretty amazing photo. It's one thing for me to just kind of describe it. I'll see if I can get it up on the screen
yeah.
here.
We should definitely put that up on the screen for everybody to see. Yeah, if
But
you didn't see this, it's very clear. It's pretty amazing that they were able to project something so clear onto the Empire State Building. But
yeah,
it was
this was
clearly done to
on
send a message.
this was on August 9th, so just about 6 weeks ago. Brilliant color. Holy shit. This is really amazing. So, yeah, wow. It's like the entire length of the building. That's incredible. And there's other Hindu gods as well. It's not just Kali. There's some of the less sinister looking ones. Kali is the one that was. Remember the second Indiana Jones film? That's the goddess they were all praying to
Yes.
in the mines there. And they rip their hearts out. But again, that's people are interpreting that as being a fulfillment of this second line of the quatrain by Nostradamus. But what do you make of all this?
I mean, obviously, it goes along with the theme of religion playing a crucial role in the end times. Is this some sort of uh, perversion of other religions to cause chaos? I don't know. Like I can't imagine many New Yorkers staring up at the Empire State Building and understanding what the hell that was. So I would have liked to see the reactions of everyday New Yorkers. But uh, I don't know. I don't know what. It's hard to interpret a Nostradamus quadrant like that, and with any real uh, confidence, I guess.
I don't
It's
know.
hard.
I use Nostradamus for like the stock market and stuff, and it's worked out pretty well so far. Speaking of the stock market, it dropped pretty considerably this month, and some people were expecting some kind of global financial meltdown during this month. I don't know. I'm not convinced that's going to happen. Not that I'm an expert in this sort of thing, but the I think a lot of that speculation was due to the Federal Reserve They were talking about the raising interest rates, and they just decided not to. So they have averted a collapse of the economy at least a little while longer. But there were some of these videos Ron Paul was putting out saying something might happen in September. I remember seeing those back in June.
Well,
But like,
another interesting point is that um, China's economy has begun to slow down as
yeah,
well. And
their stock market like almost crashed a couple days ago.
exactly. And interestingly enough, the president of China will be visiting the U.S., I believe.
I think no, I think he arrived yesterday.
Oh, he did. Okay. I think they're supposed to have some sort of meeting at the end of September. I didn't know exactly when, but interesting timing too, being there probably at the UN for the Pope.
Yeah,
But could this be the Chinese calling in their debt? As they see their economy slowing down. Uh, Maybe this is the end of the U.S. dollar. If this happens, if China calls in their debt, uh, could the U.S. no longer be the reserve currency for the world in terms of trading oil?
I guess we'll find out on Sunday.
Right,
You
that's
know.
going to be the beginning. If there
Yeah.
was going to be a global economic meltdown, it's going to start with the dollar
Yeah.
no longer being the reserve currency.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we'll see. I just wonder how China fits into this because I don't think they're part of the New World Order. I think they're kind of like them along with Vladimir Putin with Russia. I think they're kind of like the wild cards in this situation. It seems like the NWO is mostly like the Bilderbergs, North America, Western Europe, and the banking dynasties that exist there, and they're trying to infiltrate these other cultures and haven't quite succeeded.
yeah, I think that's definitely true because you don't see that type of symbolism and societal groups in Japan or any of the developed Asian countries. It's true. Maybe the New World Order is just trying to either use them as a entity to bring about a economic collapse or try and infiltrate them. Who knows?
Yeah, well, it's like those countries, these so-called rogue states, are all the states that did not have Rothschild-owned central banks that did not have central banks that were linked to the like financial power structure that they control.
Right.
Libya, gone. Gaddafi's out of the picture. Uh,
Cuba isolated.
Cuba, yeah, isolated, embargo. North Korea, Iran, rogue states. Syria, they tried to get Assad out of power. This ISIS group mysteriously pops out of nowhere and takes over most of the country. Russia has come to their aid, and it seems like that's screwing up their plan now. If what we're proposing here is correct, I think it is. Uh, yeah, they tried to get rid of Assad because he wouldn't play ball
Right.
anymore. And they got rid of Saddam Hussein for the same reason. But there's again, there's so much going on right now. It's we're going to be continuing to cover this over the next few days because this is just once again it's a convergence point for so many different trends like political, economic, ecclesiastical, cryptological. Uh,
And that's why
trying to think of funny words that end in a logical, but it's not coming to me.
but
You
that's why it makes it so interesting too, and that's why it's creating the buzz all over uh, at the level that it is. So
yeah,
it's very interesting, very very interesting.
exactly. Well, anything else? Any parting thoughts we should have with us in the next few days? Anything we should keep in our bug out bags? Water guns full of holy water to spray off
The demons that come through.
the CERN demons. Yeah. Anything you recommend? What should we do? What should we be on the lookout for?
Well, obviously a bug out bag is necessary for any person anywhere in the world. You're going to need your essentials. Everybody knows what's in the bug out bag.
Yeah.
Okay. As far as spiritual warfare and preparation for battle with demons and whatnot, I don't know what to tell you right now. We don't know. We've never dealt with this. Uh, Look, all we can do is wait. It's only September 23rd. Who knows? Maybe the world won't be hearing this podcast tomorrow, but we'll see what tomorrow brings, and we'll be checking in on you guys later on this week, because this is just the second part of our series that we're going to be doing this week, wrapping up September 2015. So, any parting words from you?
I have nothing else to add. I think you said everything that needed to be said. Gentlemen, it is 9:51 p.m., September 23rd, Eastern Standard Time. So far, we're still here, alive. Anything could happen in the next 2 hours and 9 minutes.
I think I'm
God
going to
be with us. Good night, and good luck.
If I get a pizza now, I'll be able to eat it before the world ends, I think.
Oh, yeah, you're good. Just
Okay.
Domino's, like 15-minute delivery where you are.
Or Little Caesars or something like that.
Little Caesar is good. Little Caesar is good.
Although, yeah, what would your last meal be?
Not pizza from there. I get decent pizza. I get Chinese. Oh, maybe that's an omen too. Xi Jinping's arrival here is making me crave mushu pork right now. All right. Thanks for tuning in, folks. We'll be back the next day or two with continuing coverage. Hopefully we're all still alive then. Stay safe. Stay vigilant.
Adios.
Stay armed. Ta-ta.